Now this is quite hilarious to me. So, in studying criminal justice with Bowman Haley, they're talking about computer technology using replacing police with computer technology like pattern detection and algorithms. And they're saying one of the biggest concerns, one of many, is racial profiling from the bot, from the algorithm, right? And they say this is the same problem the FBI has with counterterrorism, is it's really difficult to prevent terrorism without racial and ethnic profiling. That's what they said, not me. Those are their words, not mine. That's the FBI's words. And it's true. So, what's really cracking me up is the system is only as good as its programmer, right? So if the programmer is flawed, the system is flawed. So the system will be created by a human, and therefore it inherently has the flaws that the creator has. Now, if we switch, as I'm sure we already are, phasing into this for a while now, China does the same thing, of course. And Israel has like the best facial recognition software on the planet, I read on the internet, so it must be true. This means in 2023, 2024, we are learning that Jim Crow laws and apartheid was good. Prevented crime. Now, a lot of you might say, that's racist! Bleh! But this means it prevented black-on-black crime, including black-on-black homicides and black drug overdose deaths. Jim Crow laws and apartheid lowered the black mortality rate. You remove the evil racist white police, black-on-black homicides go up. So do black drug overdose deaths. It's weird, right? 7 years ago, when I Googled schizophrenia per ethnicity, Hispanics had the #1 rates of schizophrenia. Now it's African Americans. Now I assume that's because marijuana has been legalized. This means laws are necessary for a certain percentage of the population who cannot regulate their own behaviors. They have to be forced to do what is for their own good. If blacks, given freedom, just like Hispanics, were choosing the right thing on their own, they wouldn't be smoking marijuana and therefore have such high rates of schizophrenia and homelessness, etc. So this is really making me laugh because there was a lot of Jews. Jews are very liberal, like hyper-liberal, right? Who supported the civil rights movement of the 1960s, right? A lot of Jews involved in that. And beyond, including all the way up to Black Lives Matter. A lot of Jews were involved because they saw themselves as fellow victims, right? My fellow oppressed non-white. And, I mean, the Crown Heights riots alone, yeesh, but it's like that scorpion and the frog. The Jews were the frogs, and the blacks were the scorpions. Now, if you don't already know this, which undoubtedly many of you do, but you might try to suppress the truth or lie or misrepresent the truth, no. Blacks have stabbed Jews in the back about the whole Palestine thing, right? Gaza? Yeah, Black Lives Matter became Palestinian Lives Matter, and so the same blacks that were so helped by Jews, literally, Jews, ton of money, right? Orchestrating finances. Jews artificially elevated Beyonce, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, like all these black rappers, right? Had they been left in Africa with no Jew to, manipulate income generated by Whitey into the hands of Blackie, they'd be experiencing life expectancies of lifespans of like maybe 40 or 50 years old. Whole generations are still wiped out in Uganda from AIDS. Like one guy will have AIDS and he'll start a family, have like 7 or 8 kids, and then just abandon the family, move on and do it again. 45 AIDS spreaders from one AIDS spreader, from one HIV carrier. It's documented. This really happens to this day. So, despite everything Jews did for blacks, blacks stabbed the Jews in the back. Literally. There was a Jewish woman beaten, I think to death, in London, like last week. It was caught on CCTV. Black girls with braids beat the shit out of this Jewish woman just because she was Jewish. Harvard, right? You all saw that. Yeah. Despite everything Jews did for blacks, blacks are stabbing them in the back. And these are the same Jews who were against Jim Crow laws and apartheid and were leaders of the civil rights movement, despite not being black. Martin Luther King had a bunch of Jews on his PR team and things like that. This is not some sort of abstract notion grounded in anti-Semitism. These are factual observations grounded in reality. Does this mean over the last century we've been engineered for counter-instinctual insanity and stupidity? Like, just common sense will tell you. Blacks will say this, the smart ones. There are smart blacks. I'm not lumping any single entire race into, a corner. A set of traits. No. Intelligent blacks will say the same thing. And intelligent Jews will. But there's a difference between intelligence and honesty. The more intelligent you get, the more amoral you become.